He's fighting for me. He'll bring that on just like he said. He'll make America great.
AM 560 KBLU, Park with you. Greg Wilkinson's here. It must be
Hey,
Friday.
good morning.
It is a Friday. Good morning.
Yeah, it's a Friday.
It is. Did you go to America Fest?
I've been to, Charlie Kirk invited me to one, and then Tyler Boyer invited me to some others.
Yeah.
I think I've been to the last several. I'm not going to this one now.
Okay.
But yeah, they're an amazing event.
Well, they just had one on Thursday.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
yeah.
I didn't go.
No.
Kind of busy.
Yeah.
Although I'd love to.
Well, this one, they're all almost sold out. All of them are sold
Yeah,
out.
you gotta
It
get in
takes a
early.
long time to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are amazing. They have amazing speakers, and the biggest thing that, when I went to the first one, I don't remember how many years ago it was. I was just amazed how many young people, and by young I mean from
College students.
yeah, high school and college students, and
That's
that's
I think that's what scares the Dems the most.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk really went after the young minds.
right.
He related.
Yeah.
He took the time.
And I think that's why the Democrats are going after, trying to go after the Republicans, undermine the things that they're doing with the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about winning and power, I guess. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think Kirk was not about winning and power.
No, he wasn't. It
He was about truth.
Yeah.
Openness, communication,
Yes.
and first of all, Christianity. I mean, he was the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And they killed him.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
It's just amazing.
Well, Erica Clark is keeping it up, and this was the one on Thursday there in Phoenix. Was the first America America Fest conference since she lost her husband. It's only been 3 months. Do you know that? It seems a lot longer.
Well, he was such a prolific speaker and out there, and he was very celebrated. I mean, it's I guess I'd put it on par with when JFK was assassinated or Martin Luther King was assassinated. I mean, he was that type of a person.
He is. He was impactful. Erica, I mean, she really stepped up. You didn't see much about her. She was a lady in the background.
Right. Well, I think she's like one of those powerhouse people behind the scenes, behind her husband, and
she was a wife and a mother.
Yeah. Advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when Charlie and Erica went out to dinner with friends, and I know some people, not me, I've never met Charlie personally. I mean, I've been in a room with him.
Yeah.
He didn't want to talk about anything but family.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't business.
Yeah.
It was family. Erica says, what I'm inspired by is the fact that Charlie and I, again, will go wherever we need to go, but so will you. That you guys are here, all of you here, because you're saying, I want to do something. AmFest was her husband's Super Bowl. She's honored to carry on its legacy as conservatives continue to mourn his assassination. What I have learned so much within these past 3 months, again, the enemy, that he will never win. We know we're on the winning side. God is so good. 80% of the attendees had never attended one before.
Wow, that's a big number.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's the new group. Yeah, I heard 30,000 or something like that. So it's the new.
And hard to get into, like you say. You have to get a tickets ahead of time, and then it's security checks and getting in. It's you got to you go there knowing that and just be patient.
Yeah, yep. And it fills the whole civic center up there.
But when it says to me on the 80% that never attended before, that this movement is doing nothing but growing on steroids right now.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it appears to me with all the new chapters that they've opened, and
So she goes through that. She rattled off the statistics about the growth since September 10. more than 1 million students, 3,082 Club America chapters, and 1,432 college chapters.
Yeah,
That's unbelievable growth.
it is. It is unbelievable.
And that's in 3 months.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think it's, because of what happened to Charlie, I
Yes.
think it's growing even faster than if he hadn't been assassinated.
and she's still talking about getting involved.
hmm
Um, and and she's very open about the intent of the organization right now. It's to help ensure President Donald Trump Republican Party keep control of Congress this entire term.
Yeah.
And she would get her husband's friend J.D. Vance elected for the 48th presidency and resign as way as possible. Next commander in chief will be the 48th president.
Yeah.
So that was the endorsement. And it's early, but not too early.
Well, I mean, yeah, it gets earlier and earlier, and they know Donald Trump's not going to run again. So
Sure.
yeah.
Although the left keeps saying that that's part of his kingship is to trick us in running. It's not possible. He said it's not possible. He's not doing it. He's joked about. He's putting hats out to say Trump 28, and all this stuff.
Well, he's just yanking their chain, and they
I
fight
know.
for it all the time. I mean, the Democrats don't have anything going for them except.
I was thinking, does that mean he's putting Donald Jr. in or up or something? Which I think would be a disaster. I don't think it'd be good.
No, that would
not. That would
and
not.
I don't think that would go over with the people.
No, he's not his dad. He's a great guy.
Yes.
His kids are great. There's no question.
Right.
But that special experience and everything to be able to get to that job. I mean, J.D. Vance is more suited. Marco Rubio. Heck, there's a long list.
Yeah, there are several in there, but I think the overall leaning is towards Vance for president and Rubio to be the vice president.
Well, the poll they did just recently, which I found remarkable, and unsurprisingly, Vance was 47%, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, when you got 8 or 9 people on the list, you're 47% to start off with. I mean, the rest
Right.
are.
Yeah. And I think I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion that there won't be somebody who comes out of the woodwork,
No,
but
always is. Look what McCain did when he got the nomination. He was at like single digits, mid-single digits.
Yeah.
And he popped up and won it. That's always possible.
Yeah.
But the number 2 in the poll was the number 7 in the poll on the Republicans was anybody was on the list.
Yeah.
Which was very low. In the Democrats, it was the number 2 choice. Anybody but who's on the list. The number 2 choice. I mean, it came in second behind Kamala was number 1. And it looks like the Dems are going with Kamala. That's their
it's the Democrats have done so much to damage our country. And I think, anybody with common sense can see now what they're doing. And the Democrat Party is just trying to stop the U.S. from performing. Hopefully it will reflect on Republicans and Donald Trump. So they're really fighting against our country.
Oh,
and the Republicans are really coalescing around freedom and all those things. And they're coalescing around Trump. They're coalescing around Vance and Rubio.
Right.
I mean, and truth is that Trump probably has one of the most amazing cabinets that I have ever seen.
It's been unbelievable. Usually the cabinets, and in his first term, he relied on advisors.
Yes.
Because it's not his normal venue.
Right.
Like who's going to be the best and all that stuff. And that's where he got his list of, pick from this group from.
Yeah.
And this time, no, it's people loyal to Trump, number 1.
Yes. Well, and you look at Biden, and all I saw was a bunch of weak sisters.
Oh my!
And then you look at Trump, and they're all like strong people, whether they're men or women. There's strong women in his cabinet,
independent and loyal.
Yes.
And in his first one, he had strong people, but some of them were deep state.
Yeah,
they were working against him.
Yeah, and it's amazing how deep that goes. I mean, everything that's coming out now about.
I know.
The FBI didn't want to raid Mar-a-Lago because they had, they didn't have the
evidence. And
evidence.
they didn't have any legal means to do it, but they forced it through.
Yeah, Biden made them do it.
Right.
And and I think
it's all political.
Yeah, and I think I'm probably like everybody is like, somebody needs to go to jail for all the crap that they did.
But if it were private enterprise, of course you go to jail.
Yeah.
Somehow on government decisions, it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be the punishment. The punishment is, oh man, I got caught.
Yeah. And it's just, to me, it's just amazing. It's amazing how much, where the Democrats have gone, because there used to be some Democrats that were okay. And there's still some, there are still some, but the Democrat Party as a whole, is coalescing around crime, illegal immigration,
anti-ICE,
inflation. It's just, I don't understand what happened to the Democrat Party. I guess they just got taken over by the far left.
A bunch of billionaires get together and demonize millionaires.
Yeah, and you got things like the greatest fraud and scam of all time going on in Minnesota, and I'm originally from Minnesota.
You're not Somalian, though.
No, I'm not. And I mean, it's amazing. As many as 50% of the Somalis up there are got in the country by fraud.
Oh, 50%. I thought it's more than 80% that are on welfare.
Yeah,
of some form.
Yes, and
more than 80%.
Yeah, and I think
and that includes second generation.
Right, and so I think Trump's going to have to do something. The fraud in Minnesota is on a massive scale. I mean, there is fraud in everything associated with the government up there, and I just can't imagine Walz being elected again. I mean, he's probably one of the most incompetent governors there's ever been, and I have a lot of friends in Minnesota, and they're sending me stuff all the time, and it's just like growing and growing and growing, and there's newspaper articles in the Minneapolis Star and Tribune dating back to 2000 that talks about the audit and the fraud that was going on, and Ellison, the Attorney General, they're just a bunch of crooks.
Apparently, there's been whistleblowers on the growth of some of these programs, like the autism program, that starts exploding in growth, going tripling, doubling in size, quadrupling in size, and it just gets ignored, and they keep trucking, and they get federal funds to cover it.
Yeah, and
that's what needs to stop.
So far, the fraud has been, for sure, is over $1 billion. It may go as high as $10 billion now. So, and it's going about El Shabaab, these terrorist organizations.
I hear there's a lot of cash going out of the country. I mean, Somalians traveling back with suitcases of cash.
Well, and it's like I talked about when I went to Somalia and stuff, but the warlords from Somalia, and when they came over, they took their clans with them, and the clans are still in place, and the clans have different levels and the authority within Somalia, and they came over here.
It's a target-rich country here for them, because if their operation is to defraud, steal, move around, there's nothing left in Somalia to steal.
Right?
You can't really survive. It's a lot richer here to steal, and a lot more generous, and they take advantage of that.
Yeah, and the clan that's in charge of Minnesota, of course, is it the Rob clan or something like that Omar's part of. I'll get the name here.
Did you see her net? Well, did you see
30 million?
Yeah, but it grew from 65,000.
Yeah.
Up to a few, and then the year before it was 30 million. It was only 240,000 or so, 250,000, and then it jumped all the way to 30 million. Now somebody's got to sit down and explain that.
Yeah,
I would assume. Yeah, I haven't seen an explanation. She's running from the press. You know how she used to be out there all the time talking to the press.
Yeah,
like she would stop and talk to anybody but not now.
Yeah, well, everybody knows she committed immigration fraud and married her brother. I mean, that's pretty much a fact now.
Well, you're sick to say that. That's what she says. You're sick. I don't think you married your brother. I think she did.
Yeah, it's the Rod clan. Omar is head of that. She is the one that they elected to the federal government to help lead that clan that's in Minnesota, and it's the Durad clan that's running Minnesota right now.
Well, and I heard it explained in an article not too long ago that they have so much power because even though they're only like 60,000 strong, 80,000, I think, 80,000 in Minneapolis, that's enough to sway the vote. And they need them to have the vote in Minneapolis. And Minneapolis, you need to win the state.
Yeah, and what happened in Minnesota too is when Obama brought all the Somalis into Minnesota, they were spread out.
Yeah.
They were spread out in different areas in Minnesota, but then of course they operate as a clan. The clan called them all back to Minneapolis so they could all congregate in one area. And their idea is to vote, get their people voted in. So if they start in one area and get a person voted in, and when they're spread out in different cities around the state, their votes diluted, and so they pulled them all back into the Minneapolis area, and they're all in Omar's district so they can get her elected. And then they're doing the same thing with the mayor's positions in these like St. Louis Park and stuff. They get a Somali elected to mayor, and then they take over the council, and they are, they're mean people. People don't understand if those people that have been in combat and stuff, people in the United States don't understand the mentality of some of these different people and things like that. Things that we like take for granted, like common sense and treating each other, the golden rule or whatever you want to do. They don't believe in that. If you have a 9-year-old daughter, she's ready to be married off.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. 9 years old. Yes. If they have their period or whatever, they're ready to be married. And and if you don't, I mean, then you have different things like stonings and those types of things.
Well, hopefully that's going on in the state.
Well, there's been Sharia law and all that stuff. So people don't understand the way it goes on in some of these other countries. And, killing family members because they disobeyed, especially female honor killing it goes on today.
Wow.
And people need to understand that's what like the Rod clan, that's what they believe in that stuff. And they believe in taking over different areas, over cities, and building up their power. And of course, how they do it is through this fraud, and then that money then is shipped back to their clan back in Somalia. And people need to wake up about this stuff. I didn't used to be, I keep saying this, I didn't used to be conspiracy theory and stuff like that. But now this stuff is, I have to validate things and fact check things.
Right.
So
well,
I have some experience in Somalia because I was in Somalia for a period of time, and seeing the way the country is over there. And it's not really a country. It's just a
tribal.
Yeah, it's tribal. There's really nothing. There's nothing in Somalia worth being there. I get it why people don't want to be there, because there's nothing there. I mean, it's just feces all over the place from animals, and there's nothing grows there, and it's just a desolate waste area.
Well, I'm sure if somebody put something down that was decent, it'd be stolen.
Yes. Yeah. And when the Peace Corps went in there, I think I've told you the story about the Peace Corps went in there to try to help Somalia, and so they put in irrigation, and they put in they had them grow high growth wheat, which you get more bushels per acre and all that stuff. And then so the Peace Corps went in there so they'd have food and this kind of stuff, of course. And then they had a real drought, and so all the wheat and things brought in there died off, and the wheat that they had before that would grow in these desolate areas with very little water, that was gone. And so when they really had a drought, then they had nothing, because this high yield wheat wouldn't grow without the irrigation because they had a drought, and the other stuff had been plowed under and taken out. And so we left Somalia in worse shape than when the Peace Corps went in.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's not good. Well, just the American test, they did have quite a few speakers, including J.D. Vance, Donald Trump Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy, House Speaker Mike Johnson, and Tom Homan. Just those are the top bills.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of others.
Yeah.
But I asked you, I didn't know if you'd be on that list. You might have been up there.
No.
She also mentioned her thing with Candace Owens, which I really don't understand. Candace Owens got all these conspiracy theories that kind of is annoying.
It is. I don't like that.
No, and
you know,
it's making her rich. Apparently, she's like the #1 podcaster.
Oh, okay.
And she's getting tons of money on it, and tons of hits, and Owens and Erica were always friends, and they, you know, after they had a little disagreement on that, they got together for a few hours, but it looks like nothing's changed.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff continues, and Erica talked about it. She just, well, I didn't mention by name. She said that Egypt was not one of the countries represented by the attendees at the event. Because Owens had posted numerous conspiracy theories around the Charlie Kirk assassination, that there was a mysterious Egyptian plane linked to the killing, which I never heard that. Because I don't watch Candace. I liked her, but I don't understand her disconnect, what she's trying to get, other than she makes a ton of money.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. That's it. You know, and I mean, that's the way it is now too on the internet, on Facebook and Instagram and X and all these things. There's so much. People just make something up, put crap out there. So that's why
about it.
That's why I don't believe any of that stuff anymore. I have to fact check pretty much everything.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
Did you see the Trump speech yesterday at all?
I did.
I didn't, but my understanding it wasn't any real impactful thing. I mean, it's not like we're going to war or something, which was a speculation out there that they were going to declare war in Venezuela.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to slowly squeeze until Maduro gets out. That's what I think.
I think that's all practical.
Yeah, it is. He's taken
I mean, I don't know how much that he could take, now with the embargo of oil. That's their #1 and maybe possibly the only line of cash they've got coming, and they're already pretty decimated cash-wise.
Yeah.
So,
well, and the military's, he's kind of, his grasp on the military, I think, is slipping, and a number of things are slipping, and because people know he's an idiot, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And Trump saying, okay, you stole all the oil wells and oil production from, United States companies. Now it's time to give it back. And, which he did. I mean, of course, they took over and took away all the oil wells from U.S. companies that had gone in there and spent billions to put them in place. And Trump said, okay, you got to give them back.
Yeah, it's the worst place for oil companies than even California, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and they had a presidential election down there, and Maduro lost, and he said, "Screw that, I'm not doing that." And so they did get the lady that was, I can't remember her name. Maria. Yeah, they got her out of the country, which he was upset about.
And that was retired military special forces guys that have their own company now. Extraction type company. That's a dangerous gig. I don't know about that. I don't think that's the thing I want to get involved in. I don't understand that. That's
his money.
It is, but it's about as high risk as you're going to go.
Yeah, but it's money, and people. A lot of the times, it's people wanting to do the right thing. They have some ties to.
You have to have that. You have to have doing the right thing in there, even if it's what you do for a living.
Right.
That's a lot of commitment.
Yeah. But anyway, Venezuela had an election, elected a president, and then Maduro wouldn't turn it over. And that's where we are. And then they took over the oil wells and basically, I guess it's either a dictatorship, and of course, as soon as he took over, then Russia and China got involved to try to prop him up, and they buy, they buy the oil at a discount on these tankers. So China buys this oil, and they get it for less than the going price, and that's why they're involved. So that's why this is all happening.
As they've owned it, though, the production has gone down and down because they don't know how to manage it. They don't drill. They don't do what oil companies would do. With high expertise or all.
Right.
So they're
And that's why the Trump administration, if they get them out there, they're asking the oil companies now that lost their assets there, if they would go back in, because it's still no matter what happens for a while, at least the country's still going to be unstable like it is now.
yeah.
So they'd have to go in there with, huge BlackRock or whoever, some huge
There would have
security
to be
forces.
security big time.
Yeah.
That would be big time. The apparently during his speech, he talked to us a lot about accomplishments, things that they're working on, things they've done. He talked about the inflation, and that's been, I guess, that's been really misplaced as far as the inflation. It's not
Yeah.
placed on the Biden administration; it's all placed on the Trump.
Yeah.
At least by some of the media and the Democrats and all that.
Yeah.
That Trump is not bringing down the cost, which is actually true. He is not. He just brought it to a level of acceptance.
Right. Well, it's, once prices are in place, it's really hard to reverse them.
With the exception of like eggs,
Yeah.
which was outrageously.
Oil and gasoline and those types of things. He's done all that. And he's got he's got it, inflation. For sure, he's got inflation back under control. Right. Biden blew it out of the water. Their administration they were terrible for that. Inflation rate's at 9%. That's like, a country can fall apart with inflation rates like that.
He says seed cost, and he talked a lot about farming apparently. And farming is one that was hurt by the tariffs. I know the Dems like to over exaggerate the harmfulness of the tariffs. The tariffs bring in a lot more money than what they've raised prices and stuff. They bring in more, but the Democrats have to paint it differently. And the agricultural industry has legitimately been harmed because China boycotted it due to the tariffs and all that.
Well, but underneath Biden didn't enforce the agreements that they had with China to buy soybeans and buy all these things. So there's on the inflation, it's mainly on the Biden administration, but a healthy economy has about a 2% inflation, and that's where we need.
And we just came in with a CPI at 2.7.
2.7, right?
He talked a little bit about the skyrocketing inflation on just farming. Seed costs are up by 18%, fuel 32%, which that's all of us. Fertilizer 37%, labor went up 47%. And interest expense for them rose 73%.
Yeah.
And all big numbers.
Yeah. And hopefully because the price of oil, because fertilizer, is petroleum.
It's tied.
Based, it's tied together. So hopefully with oil costs going down, though, then we're going to start seeing the prices of fertilizer.
And they have come down, but not enough to, where you look at it and go, oh my goodness, not like eggs have come down. Like I saw eggs for $2.09 a dozen the other day. And under Biden, they were $8, $10, $12 a dozen.
Yeah, I know. And what I kind of like about Trump is people are like, oh, he can't make up his mind and this kind of stuff. But, if he puts the tariffs in place, like with coffee and stuff like that, he goes, I shouldn't have done that. Let's undo the tariffs on coffee.
He's quick to do that. That's okay.
Yeah. He goes, I didn't get that run right. I goes, okay, now I got it right.
Okay.
So you want somebody like that can, adjust.
A lot of that tariffs was bargaining.
Yes, it was.
Especially with China. Like, look, these are the tariffs unless you come to the table.
Yeah. And now all the economists have admitted, Trump said tariffs are not inflationary. Now that the economists are saying, well, yeah, you're right.
Right.
Tariffs were not inflationary. And,
they didn't have there was a lot of economists out there saying that the United States would crumble in 6 months and we'd have a depression and all that. They had to go back to the table and say, well, for credibility's sake, we have to say we're not in a depression.
Yeah, and you hit it. I mean, he's using the tariffs as bargaining chips. It's like, you're not going to treat us like this. You're not going to, because what was going on in the world, and this is really across the world, is countries were charging us huge tariffs, and we weren't charging them anything. Well, and that can't continue.
And they do that to make sure that they don't import stuff that's going to directly compete with their producers.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why you don't see cars in some countries and stuff. Because they say, no, we don't want your cars. We make our own.
Yeah.
So we just tariff the heck out of them, and you can't. Nobody's going to buy them.
Yeah.
It'll be too high.
And basically, Trump says,
And
"Yeah, I
he
get
says,
that.
well, you do it to us, we'll do it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, tit for tat. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
It makes sense.
yeah. I mean, you charge us a 50% tariff, we're going to charge you a 50% tariff, and you know, and until we can get down to, you know, everybody, and I believe in free trade, but if one side is charging a tariff and you don't, well, then it's not free trade, and
Well,
so you have to level the playing field.
most people, including myself, didn't really understand tariffs as far as
Yeah.
their practical use and really how they're used in the world. But we've had an education with Trump
Yes,
that
he's evident. He is more of a master with tariffs
Yeah.
than I ever knew, because I'm just like you. I didn't know how tariffs played a part in a lot of it.
but we want trade. We want to be
Yes.
able to export. We want to be able to
But we
export.
have to
want
have
do all
trade.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. And but we want fair trade.
Yep.
And we didn't have it.
Yeah.
But that whole feeling where we're so big, it's our gift to the world. We'll just give everything away.
Mhm.
He's like, no, America first.
Well, you know, in 30 years, you know, we built the Panama Canal, one of the most expensive projects ever, and then we gave it away. I mean,
Right.
that was really stupid with no, I mean, you can hand parts of it over, but you got to have things in place where you can still, you know, so things that happen like right now, like all the signs are in Chinese and all this kind of
Well,
stuff
that's
on the
changed
canal.
because Trump said
Yeah.
enough,
Yeah.
and because China was taking it over by owning the ports and
Right.
owning the entrances and exits and all that, and Trump just put his foot down and said, it's not part of the agreement. That's not what we're doing. We'll come in and take it back.
Yeah.
And we got the ports back.
Yeah.
You know.
And Panama goes, oh crap.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want to mess with that.
Yeah. It's like, no, it's ours, but yeah.
And we're I mean, our military is a big chunk of the
Mhm.
of the traffic, and they are apparently abusing that a little bit.
Yes, they have been.
Charging higher rates and all that. And they're in a drought themselves, and they need fresh water in
Mhm.
order to run that thing. And they expanded it to get more traffic, but by expanding it, they need much more water, and they ran out.
Yeah, well,
They
they
ran
built
low.
a second canal. Yeah,
Right.
it was much bigger to handle the new bigger ships and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were limiting not so many a day. I mean, they had to because they could only
Mhm.
operate it according to how much water was available.
Yeah, well, they have to pump. Yeah, is the way the locks work. They have to
Yeah.
pump water to bring the water level up so the ships can
And they
go
don't
through.
use salt water. I guess that would be
Yeah,
caustic.
that was something I was surprised by that when I first learned that. I guess it's
Yeah.
because of corrosive nature or something. I don't
I don't know. It probably would pile up at some point and cause lots of problems.
Maybe
Nothing would grow. I think they all their marshlands, everything would be done.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. That was just a
There's
guess.
obviously a good reason. Yeah.
I just guess. You like that Trump gave all the military 1776?
Yeah, I think that's
Can you activate your enlistment for like a month and then?
yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I don't need the money, you know.
Okay.
I'm glad it's going because, as you know, 'cause you have a son in the military, a lot of the enlisted, you know, in the lower enlisted ranks, $1,776 is a lot of money for
Yes.
them. That is a lot of money
It is.
for them, and they need it. They're, you know, my book, they're underpaid. You know, the E1 through probably E5
They struggle.
are dramatically underpaid, especially if they have families. I remember that, you know, E5 and below, if they were married with kids, you know, they were going to the food bank and getting food, and they do that here. There's a lot of military family members that go to the food bank and go see Shara and, you know, get a monthly food allowance.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they're hardworking. They work hard. You know, they probably put in 70, 80 hours a week or something like that.
Trump didn't do this to win them over because he's got them.
Yeah.
The military, you've seen the what was it, the Army Navy game?
Yes.
Where he get on the field and the place goes nuts.
Yeah.
Not with booze, with cheers.
Yes.
And he has their hearts.
Mhm.
But this was a nice deal.
Yeah. And the transfer of those three soldiers and one civilian, a couple of soldiers. He attended that, transfer of the bodies and stuff like that. And and you go back to Biden did it once as he was standing there, was checking his watch. And it's such a night between Biden and Trump. It's almost totally 180 night and day between the two. And it's.
But do you think Trump goes too far though at his attention to Biden, even though they in the presidency he still puts up a picture of the auto pen. He still puts things on the wall like worst president ever, on the plaque.
Yeah, well, and you heard the plaques.
Yeah, and all that stuff. I mean, I think it's hilarious.
I do too.
I don't know if it's too much.
I don't know. It is hilarious. Maybe a little bit too much, but it is hilarious.
Yeah.
I went there and I zoomed in on the plaque so I could read what the plaque said and stuff. And the truth is that those things that are on the plaques are probably true.
Yeah.
They don't want them out there. The auto pen is like the joke of the world right now.
It's funny.
Biden is the joke of the world with his auto pen and not really running the country. And that's pretty much now it's fact and verified and all this stuff. And
then the next Democrat president, if it's Kamala coming up in 28, which would be a nightmare, but those plaques will come down. I'm sure
if a Democrat ever gets in there, and maybe even Vance might even take him down because it's hard to say. But the only thing I would say about Trump is sometimes his speeches get too long and repetitive, and that's what I liked about his speech to the union. It was 18 or 19 minutes.
That's great.
It was basically he repeated a lot of stuff, but not within his speech. He just kind of hit all the points of everything they've accomplished, and they've accomplished a tremendous amount of stuff. I'm amazed. And he just hit it, 18 minutes, boom, done.
But even little things like the Panama Canal gets overlooked, and it's amazing what he did to get China to back down on that and to give up territory they had occupied.
Right.
And that was early on.
Yeah, and the Venezuela oil wells. A lot of people forgot that Venezuela stole those oil wells from U.S. companies.
Yeah.
That was, so Trump's making it right.
And they got to sell more oil because they're running out of boats with Evinrude. We'll be right back.
Enjoy another great day today with a high expected of 82 this afternoon. Clear at 82 tonight. 79 and sunny on Saturday and Sunday. 54 the nighttime lows both nights. We'll continue at 79 and sunshine on Monday.
The Bethlehem Trombone Choir. In a moment, the story of this holiday tradition.
Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros have been serving Arizona for over 20 years. Dune season is here, so ask about specialty tires for your toys. We also do alignments, brakes, oil changes, AC work, inspections, preventive maintenance, and more. Get your tires at any of our 4 Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros locations. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros wishes you all a happy holiday season. From our family to yours, and cheers to a safe and prosperous 2026. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Yeah, we got tires for that.
The town of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, by its name alone, is a holiday tradition. However, one of its traditions is the trombone choir. It was Christmas in 1750, and Native Americans planned to attack the settlers' Moravian church. Approaching, they heard loud noises. It was the trombone choir. The terrified attackers fled. Today, the trombone choir plays a traditional carol, a reminder of another Christmas that has become a holiday tradition.
The Desert Lily Annual Quilt Show is coming Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th at the Yuma Civic Center with hundreds of beautiful quilts and wearable art items on display. See the special quilts celebrating America's 250th birthday. There'll be items for sale at the country stores and a fat quarter basket drawing. Admission is just $8. Buy tickets for your chance at winning the Love in a Mist quilt. Proceeds to benefit the Hanson House. The Desert Lily Annual Quilt Show, January 9th and 10th at the Yuma Civic Center. Don't miss it.
We're the comfort experts, people you can trust, ask our customers. That's why they count on us. Over 50 years of service, keep us going strong. We've got a name you can depend upon. And burger, refrigeration, and electric hamburger. Count the nuts.
Hey, you want to give the gift they'll actually use this holiday? Peace of mind. Give the people in your life something that will protect them. Go to byrna.com today. They are the world leader in less lethal personal defense. It's compact, it's concealable, it's powerful. The newest burner, compact, fits in a pocket, a purse, while delivering real stopping power for up to 60 feet away. I carry one every day. I recommend every family have a burner, every person have one. Now, it fires potent kinetic and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks for up to 40 minutes. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a background check. It ships right to your door. Burner gives both the giver and the recipient peace of mind, not just for the holidays, but all year round and for many years to come. Protect your loved ones. Safety is priceless. Visit byrna.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's byrna.com.
There's a man he stands in me. He's fighting for you.
Yeah, 560. Russ with you, Greg Wilkinson.
Yes,
It's
good morning.
Friday.
Yeah, great Friday.
It is. It is that. I have a listener that says, when are the American taxpayers going to get their checks from tariff income? And he said the 1776 is not from the tariff; it's actually from the big beautiful bill.
Right.
Bet you didn't know that. I bet he's right. I didn't really. I didn't think it was tariffs, although it was mentioned it was for tariff.
I think what he said was in the big beautiful bill, it was 1775 in the big beautiful bill, and Trump added $1, so it had significance with the 250 years.
He added $1.
He added $1.
Dare
to it. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know
he
it
goes.
was
He said something like, "Yeah, we can. I think we can come up with $1 for every."
Yeah. Obama
Yeah.
would have never tossed that coin like an idiot like Trump did. How do you really feel?
Yeah.
And I saw a statistic the other day about the amount of income loss that we had under Biden.
Mhm.
And by income loss, I mean the power of the dollar, how far your dollar went. You lost about $3,000 a family.
Yes,
And
that is true.
and under Trump, you've gained back like 1,000 or more than 1,000 of that.
Yeah.
Back as far as purchasing power
Yeah.
and how
And,
far.
and I think everybody felt the issue underneath Biden.
He did, but I think the left is doing propaganda to say Trump's raising prices, and putting that in your head.
Yeah.
That the pain you feel at the grocery store is Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Not true. Mostly, there's still inflation going
Yeah,
on.
there is. I like there was problems with meat and coffee and a couple of those other things, but
Eggs got fixed. That was very
Mhm.
obvious that eggs got fixed, and that was a concerted effort on his part.
Yeah.
To
And
find alternatives, and of course, the chickens reproduce a lot faster. Egg-laying chickens produce a lot faster. They could catch up.
right.
Uh,
And
meat's a little slower.
yeah, and I think these changes in regulations for the auto industry,
Yeah,
now,
and that doesn't get noticed much. A lot of people haven't
Right.
noticed that.
but I think people are going to start seeing that in the prices of automobiles.
And
you know?
and what they change is requirements of emissions and miles per gallons and all that stuff. And they took some of that heat off from the EPA.
Yeah.
And Ford said it's going to be more than $1,000 a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and they won't be losing whatever it was, $70,000 on the F-150 Lightning that they're stopping. Yeah.
let's take a phone call. You're on the air. Good morning.
It's still freezing here.
It's what?
Still freezing.
It's still freezing here.
I don't care, George. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, God, and it's 82 there.
Yes.
Anyway, but I saw this today in the thing, and it was all children that are running loose in a restaurant will be given an espresso and a free puppy.
Espresso and a free puppy.
There you go.
All right.
All right, buddy. as George. He
Yeah.
even sounds like the cold weather has slowed down his speech patterns.
Yeah. Well,
That's what happens when you're
I'll be
freezing.
golfing in an hour. So
There you
that's
go.
the difference between
So George.
Minnesota, DC, and Yuma, Arizona.
Another listener said, if we use your co-host logic, should we do the same to Mexico, Middle Eastern countries who are also nationalizing the industry? I didn't know Mexico was I mean, Mexico's always
Yeah, yeah. I don't know all the exactas with Mexico, but
I don't know that they stole it like Venezuela.
no, I don't think so. I think it was
And as far as Middle
Exxon,
Eastern countries,
Chevron,
they've always owned it. It was
Right.
always a government
Right.
project.
Yeah.
It wasn't a government project in Venezuela. They had private industry come in, set it all up, and then they said, "It's mine now. Get out."
Right.
So I think there's a huge difference there with a
Yeah,
national.
well, there's Venezuela's different than some of the other countries. I mean, China, when a company goes into China, I believe China own 51% of the company, and you go into China to access the market, and so that's what they do, and that's how China's getting by because they're owning more than half, basically have more than half of companies that go in there, and I believe that's their standard operating procedure when companies go into communist China. Yeah.
Another listener said, seditious six, Mark Kelly, must have been cursing like a drunken sailor when President Trump gave the military members 1,776 each. Do you think that's an insult to drunken sailors?
No, I think Kelly is just he's gone off the rails with
Is he
hating Trump.
scared?
I would say he should be.
I mean,
I believe he is. He's very egotistical, but
he's always quiet before. He was never very, very visible. And
Right.
now he's out there just really looking bad in my viewpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never liked his politics and all that, but
Right.
but now he's just outraged. I'm just outraged that they would look into this.
Yeah.
I got the president wants to kill me.
Yeah, and I was asked on the show if I agreed with them going after him. I do,
Yeah.
but I said I don't know if it will happen, and
So-
that's the problem we've had.
And you don't know the outcome if they put him into an investigation. You don't know.
Yeah, it's curious, but he is guided by the UCMJ until he's age 65.
He seems to want to fight that. He seems to think he's not. I got
Well-
my First Amendment rights. He seems to have forgot.
He can be recalled at any time until age 65.
Yeah.
That's part of the military. If you accept retirement, you can be recalled to age 65 for any reason. Now you are, but common sense, you're way down the list. You're not going to be recalled unless something really bad happens. But so that's the question.
But part of his retirement and everything requires him to act in a certain manner and not speak out badly against the president and be.
Yeah.
And it's not heavily enforced. And I think he was over the top enough that it should be looked at anyway.
Well, it has been enforced because there have been, I know general officers that have been recalled, reduced in rank, and subsequently lose part of their retirement. I believe it's happened at least three times that I know of.
Okay.
And I don't know how many more other than that, but yeah, there were 3 general officers that were returned to service and lost a star or 2 or something like that. I don't remember the exact punishment, but it has happened before.
Yeah, the seditious six, he was the only one that's got this capability to be recalled. But he should have known that. And they also flashed him wearing his military uniform.
Yeah. That is actually taboo. You're allowed to wear your uniform after you retire,
right?
But you are not allowed to use the uniform because it is a symbol of the service, a symbol of our country. You're not allowed to do political events and all those other things,
right,
in uniform.
Right.
So
he definitely needs to have talk about that. Now, Donald Trump, do you think that the bureaucrats that work for the U.S. government are on Trump's side?
I think when he first got in office, I would say the vast majority no.
Okay.
Now that he's there, I would say it's probably close to 50-50, could go either way.
Okay, and I didn't have any guess on any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's still a tremendous amount of deep state, truly a tremendous amount of people that are very, particularly those that live and work in D.C.
Yeah.
that are very much anti-Trump.
Yeah.
But he just gave them all a 5-day holiday break, 2 extra days.
Okay.
You know, I know he gave the military 1776 in cash, which which was wonderful. But they overwhelmingly support Trump.
Yeah. Well, here's one.
These guys not so much, but he gave them 5 days.
I can tell you there is an issue because the audience doesn't know. I worked for DHS as a consultant, and I got doged, which I was fine with, to be honest with you, and because I supported what they were doing. But there is a lot of bitterness from people that were obviously let go that lost their jobs.
Sure.
In that, but again, we had to cut back. I mean, the bottom line is Biden was hiring people like crazy. So he went all the way one side.
His unemployment numbers up. He just hired them.
Yeah. So I wish Trump had listened to me and picked out which people to let go and which people to keep. But he didn't listen to me. So
oh, man, imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. But yeah, because there were, it's like every organization. The governments have, I guess, federal government has a few more, I don't want to say bad people, but poor performers, lazy, whatever, than most. But it's like every organization. There's some really good people there,
right?
And there's some that are lazy and non-performers. And unfortunately, when people that are good performers can get jobs anywhere, those people were like, okay, well, I'm just going to go get another job someplace else.
Right.
And then as they cut, what happened, and not 100%, but as they happened, some of the lazy people that couldn't get hired anywhere else, they stayed. And so they're going through that transition right now where they have all these people that didn't want to work, and had
they
jobs.
have to.
Yeah, and now they're trying to force them to work and make sure they're working. And that's not 100% because there are still, I just talked to some of the people that I worked with and there are good people there, but and that's kind of what happened. And that's why I said, why Trump didn't listen to me. Cause like I said, get rid of these people, keep these,
keep the performers.
But it's so hard for the administration to come in and say,
they can't micromanage.
Yes. And say, pick which one. And unfortunately, some of the supervisors, bosses were DEI hires.
Yeah.
And several of them stayed and they were the problem. To be honest with you, they were the problem. It was not, the rank and file, but those, and they just made stupid decisions.
I imagine and turnover's not done.
No, it's not done.
Yeah, there's more to be done on that. But right now, the federal workers get the 24th and the 26th off with pay, which was not on this calendar. Trump put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
And you get those 2 days with pay. And historically, it happens with presidents where they'll give 1 day or so. Trump's twice as good. He gave 2 because Christmas is on a Thursday. So he gave them the 24th and the 26th off. So good for him. I don't think that's going to win him over to a lot of the people that hate him. I think they're going to keep hating him.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's in the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him have a day off without pay. I mean, with pay. Then, you're still not working, but this time you get to not work from home.
Yeah.
Which is a real benefit, I guess. We got to take a break. It's 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands in free. He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He'll drink that old song, just like he said. He'll make America.
This is News Talk KBLU, Yuma. This is a Fox News alert. The manhunt is over for the suspected Brown University shooter. I'm Dave Anthony. He's dead. It turns out it murdered 2 students, 9 others in Saturday's shooting in Providence. Authorities identify the shooter as Claudio Neves Valente from Portugal. He went to Brown University for a PhD physics program in the early 2000s, but never graduated. Before that, he went to school in Lisbon. His classmate was MIT professor Nuno Borriero. Authorities say Neves Valente murdered his former classmate at his home outside of Boston. That happened Monday. Fox's Dave Boy was in Salem, New Hampshire, where Valente was found dead in a storage unit. He shot himself. Valente came into the U.S. in 2017 through a green card visa lottery that Homeland Security Secretary Kristen Noem put on hold. Posting on X last night, they want to ensure no more Americans are harmed by this disastrous program. The Justice Department's deadline, mandated by Congress to turn over more files from the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche tells Fox this morning they'll turn over hundreds of thousands of items today.
Those documents will come in all different forms, photographs and other materials associated with all of the investigation.
President Trump will go to Rocky Mount, North Carolina tonight to talk up what he says is a strong economy.
The remarks are probably going to echo what he said in his speech to the nation earlier this week. And we might even also see graphs and charts again showing the difference between the price of goods as he continues to reel this message that he's inherited a mess and he's trying to fix.
That's Fox's Isaac Posny at the White House. Democrats say it's the president making things unaffordable. The Republicans are losers. House Majority Leader Jeffrey is also upset the Kennedy Center Board of Directors, chosen by the president as the chairman, voted to rename it the Trump Kennedy Center. Jeffrey says that's illegal. Only Congress has that power.
The wannabe king and his sycophantic minions can't do it.
Americans listening to Fox News.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. Dad, away at the age of 63, out of nowhere, had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my wife and 4 kids. And the best way to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? I think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion, B. Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe. That's pound 250. Mike.
From the News Alerts Information Desk, I'm Juliana Pineda. Exceptional Community Hospital in Yuma drew the winners of the bike raffle. They're participating with Catholic Community Services to collect toys. Anyone who brought a new unwrapped gift was entered into the raffle, and they awarded the 2 bikes. Plus, one local event is hoping to make Christmas a little brighter for kids in our city. KG's Christmas Toy Drive returns for its 3rd year this Saturday at the Matador Wrestling Club in Yuma. The event runs from 8 a.m. to noon and is accepting new unwrapped toys for children in need. UFC fighter Kelvin Gastelum will be on hand for a photo and autograph signing with coffee and donuts available for those who stop by. The Matador Wrestling Club is located on 77th Street, South Orange Avenue. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday after 6 and 10 p.m. for the latest local news, weather, and sports.
The Desert Lily Show is coming Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th at the Yuma Civic Center with hundreds of beautiful quilts and wearable art items on display. See the special quilt celebrating America's 250th birthday. There'll be items for sale at the country stores and a fat quarter basket drawing. Admission is just $8. Buy tickets for your chance at winning the Love in a Mist quilt. Proceeds to benefit the Hampton House. The Desert Lily Annual Quilt Show, January 9th and 10th at the Yuma Civic Center. Don't miss it.
There's a man in D.C.
6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me.
He'll drain that old swamp, just like he said. He'll make America.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. It's Friday morning, 7:05. Phone lines are open. 928-941. No, that's my cell phone. 928-344-5258. I'll get that right. Elon Musk, his net worth source, in case you're worried about that, the Elon Musk source. You know, the Doge guy, the guy that got the Doge going, and the left protested him, burned up or scratched, tore up Tesla trucks, and hated them, and all that. He just reached a $681 billion net worth. That's his net worth. He doesn't have that cash. Which, I don't know how much cash he's got, but probably a lot. But he's got 681 net worth. The person in second place as far as richest guy, Larry Page, Google co-founder, at 249 billion. Big spread. I mean, he's outpacing the field. The top five, Jeff Bezos at 239 billion. With Amazon. Another Google guy at Sergey Brin at 229, and Oracle at 229 billion. A lot of big rich guys. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
So I'm not sure if you read my text or not, but I think this cold must really be getting to George.
Oh, I think so. I mean, he was really slowing down even in speech, man.
Yeah, and in mental capacity as well. You don't reward kids with a puppy. The saying is more like if you drop kids off at grandma's house unannounced, she's going to show her appreciation by giving them an espresso and either coffee, donuts and candy.
Yeah, but you need to take it in stride because George has never been married or had children.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he doesn't know. He thinks he might think the puppy's the way to go.
Oh, it raise havoc at the restaurant, but it's better to send the kids back home to mom after they've been amped up.
So you don't have any DoorDash deliveries of puppies?
No live animals are allowed. I mean, Uber will allow. They have a special section. You know how there's XL for large groups.
Yeah.
They have one called Pets. Uber Pets or Pets.
Oh, they do.
And yeah, they do. And it's supposed to be, drivers can opt in whether they want to allow animals in their car. Now, we're all told that you have to accept service animals no matter what.
Right.
So, but if you don't want, like I had happen to me once at Phoenix Airport, a guy just opened the door and his dog jumped in. It was raining and there was paw prints all over my seat and dog hair. Sounds like dog for days afterward.
Yeah.
But I did not have Uber Pet enabled. He just jumped in as a regular Uber passenger thing picked up at the airport.
Usually those service dogs are legitimate service dogs are better behaved.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this guy hadn't. He just either traveled or I'm not exactly sure how he got to the airport with the dog, but I did not appreciate the way he left it. And you can put in for damage and cleaning compensation, and I did. I took pictures, and you know what their response was?
What? Get a vacuum?
No. You took the trip. You accepted the passengers.
Yeah. Too bad.
Take it to a car wash.
Well, you really wouldn't like my pet monkey then. All right.
Are you talking about that little ankle biter at the office? The noise maker?
She is that. Yeah, she's not with me today, though.
I appreciate that. It's been a little kind of quiet in between calls.
Yeah. It's been sad. I miss her. Now, she's not feeling well. She didn't want to get in the car.
Oh.
So I left it at home.
Yeah, let her have a day off.
Yeah,
Mom.
she took the day off. It's the holidays,
All right, very good.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, didn't like the dogs. That's good. Getting back to the rich guys, Tesla shares were boosted by the announcement of the California Department of Motor Vehicles paused a 30-day sales suspension and imposed after regulators determined Tesla's marketing of its self-driving tech uses the brand names autopilot and full self-driving, and those terms are misleading. I can't believe the ticky-tack stuff. I guess they just hate Tesla. Tesla's called it autopilot since day one because he's just quirky. I mean, Elon Musk is a fun guy. He puts in fart machines and calls his cruise control autopilot. So I guess I was afraid that there's a lot of California, residents are going to believe, well, then I don't have to, I can read a book while I drive or something, I guess. I don't know. So they made him change it. Now, they've delayed the suspension for 90 days to give Tesla an opportunity to remedy the situation. You got to remedy the situation. A separate suspension of its manufacturing license for 30 days was put on hold indefinitely. Oh, they're still messing with it, even though he's moving everything out of California. He's already said, "Okay, I give up. I can't work with you guys." They're still doing it. They okayed the FSD. The FSD is the full self-driving, which is in actuality going to become eventually, meaning just that you don't even have to watch the wheel. That's the whole name. But there is a difference. And see, Tesla's autopilot helps Tesla vehicles accelerate, brake, and stay in lanes on the highways, which a lot of cars do. They just don't call it autopilot. They're tired of that. California. Self-driving gives the vehicle the ability to change lanes, obey traffic signals. I mean, that really is self-driving, like the driver will do. But now they call it supervised full self-driving, and they're okay. California, good for them. Robotaxi service in Austin, Texas, with human safety monitors in front passenger seats with remote support. They started using that, and that's caused an uptick in Tesla stock. Tesla stock just hit a high for another record high. First time they've hit one since December 17th of 2024. So they just hit another high, and a lot of that, in 25 was because he was in Doge and people were trying to boycott him and do all that kind of stuff. But I guess it's over. Trying to demonize Trump and Musk and oh, let me take another phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ. How we doing?
Doing well, Carl. Good morning.
Good morning. My suggestion is going to be for Elon Musk. Any man that can take a piece of equipment and shoot it to the moon, park it, turn it around and bring it back and put it in the slot, I'm not going to worry about his cars too much.
Yeah, he's a pretty innovative guy, man. He's got vision.
Well, if you just stop and think what he just did, to shoot it up there and then bring it back and put it in the slot, my God, and then they're worried about him driving a car around town.
Yeah. Well, they say it's got the wrong name. And this is from organizations that are run by Democrats that changed the name of everything. It used to be boys and girls meant one thing. Now they've changed it to mean something different. But now, autopilot can't be, it's too inaccurate. Can't mean that. So, it's all wordsmithing because they hate him. They hate Tesla. They hate Musk. He's too successful without their help.
Yeah. My car, it won't, and it's not smart enough just to get me out the freeway, but it's smart enough to keep me out of the rumble strip. Things like that. So
yeah.
But they bitch about the cars, but in my opinion, every time my car is just fun to drive.
And that's a Hyundai.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's got similar features, like you said. It'll stay in the lanes. It stays in the lanes, and it'll brake if it's on cruise control. If you come too close to a car in front of you, it'll slow it down for you and all that stuff.
Well, you know what really amazes me about my car? I'll be just driving along, and then it turn around and say, "Hey, why don't you pull over and have a cup of coffee?" So that way, even trying to think for me.
Oh, it does? It does that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man, I like that.
yeah. But it's a hard time getting to Phoenix and pulling over and having coffee all the time. Maybe that's telling me that my driving's getting sloppy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's telling you
Yeah.
that it's interpreting your driving style as one that's a
Yeah, go ahead.
little tired or something.
Yeah, it is. Old man needs to get a cup of coffee someday. Well,
All right, bud.
and you know what, Russ? At 82, hell, I'm still glad I can go get a cup of coffee.
That's all right, man. I'm happy you do. Thank you,
Me
sir.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's Carl, and he's got that little Hyundai Elantra that has a very similar, like, autopilot and all that. But something else about Musk. I just heard he was going to go public with SpaceX. SpaceX is a private company. He was interviewing, Joe Rogan was interviewing, not Musk, but somebody else in the industry that put the value of SpaceX. Now, keep in mind, SpaceX is about 10 years old. It's just shy of $1 trillion in value. And that's estimated because it's private and we don't, I mean, they're not required to show the books. They don't know. But they're going to sell stock in that thing now. Well, I think that'll help Elon Musk's net worth again. At that point, I would think, as he is able to sell some stock. I don't know how somebody must tell you how much it's worth, because to come up with that 681 billion, it's got to include SpaceX as well as the Boring Company and all the other stuff he does with the robots and the chips. He's involved. He's involved in a lot of stuff. But that may go public next year. We're talking about SpaceX. Possible going public. You can buy stock in it then, just like you do Tesla. Phone lines are open 928-344-5258. California schools. California is a different state, different country, I guess. They're gonna play by their own rules, even if it is going to be against national programs, national values that you get reimbursed for, like schools. In schools right now, Department of Education said, they're protecting women, no men in women's sports and stuff, women's private areas, or you risk losing federal dollars. Well, California Department of Education doesn't believe in that. I guess we're willing to risk it because they've got a school. They've got a Tahoe Truckee Unified School District inside California, and they actually play sports in Nevada because they're right there on the line, and playing in California would be too long a drive, and to interact with them would be too much. Well, in Nevada, you can't have boys on the girls' sports in Nevada, which is consistent with the rules from the federal government and all that kind of stuff. Well, the California Department of Education said, no, you can't do that. You have to let boys play in girls' sports. So you're dropping your affiliation with the Nevada Interscholastic Activities Association, NIAA, and you're going to join the California Interscholastic Federation, the CIF. And in the CIF, you're going to play schools that have boys in it. Because that's encouraged. And you're going to have to drive through mountain passes and stuff to get to the other California schools instead of like to the neighboring schools, which would be very close in Nevada. Well, not everyone's happy about that. And they even threatened them. They threatened the school district. Tahoe Truckee Unified School District was threatened and said, look, if you don't play, then you will lose money. Yeah, if you don't comply, you'll be violating state law, which could result in severe financial penalties and legal action against the district. Well, the federal government has told California if you don't comply with getting boys out of the girls' sports, you're going to face, you know, restrictions on federal reimbursements. Which I guess California's going to go their own way, no matter what. One of the teachers uh, complained about it and said students would have to travel through California's Donner Pass, 7,056-foot mountain pass during winter. The pass known for being dangerous and due to extreme weather conditions. School board meetings last week, residents expressed opposition. Truckee High School track and field athletes Anna Cockrum. She spoke about the dangers. She says it's dangerous. It just doesn't seem safe at all. You're going to be prone to danger. I don't see how it could be fair for a female athlete to compete against a biological male because they're stronger, they're taller, they're faster. It's just not fair. Well, welcome to California. California law requires that students be permitted to participate on the sports team that corresponds with their gender identity. California local educational agencies are required to follow California law regardless of which state's athletic association they join. Well, Representative Kevin Kelly, a Republican out of California, wrote on X, this is a new low. California is forcing Tahoe Truckee Unified to compete in California instead of Nevada, despite this being impractical and unsafe for athletes whose seasons will move from spring to winter in a snowy area. The reason? Nevada doesn't allow males in female sports. For 40 years, Tahoe Truckee Unified has chosen to compete in Nevada because sports like soccer, tennis are played in the spring there. In California, those are winter sports, which is impractical in snowy areas like Tahoe and presents travel safety concerns. Yet the state has overridden this local decision for no other reason than to preserve the ability of biological males at the district school to compete in female division. This disseminates several sports, and schools in the district may not even be able to field teams. Nevada Lieutenant Governor jumped in too, Starvos Anthony. He said California is forcing schools to exit Nevada despite decades of successfully competing in our state. We are taking a common sense approach with female athletes. Since my task force on protecting women's sports, there has not been an incident with men playing in women's sports. And by the way, the CIF, which is the California Interscholastic Federation, is being investigated by the U.S. Department of Education for its defiance of the order. Education Secretary Linda McMahon has already warned Gavin Newsom, the governor, that his state could be subject to federal funding freezes if he continues to defy the order. Well, I guess Newsom just doubled down and said, we don't care. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Russell.
Well, good morning, Danny.
How you doing, bud?
Doing well, and yourself?
Good. Can't go wrong on a Friday, huh, buddy?
Friday's always a good day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, you know something? I just have a little comment to make about California. And I'll be nice. They are so freaking fricked up. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that was nice. All right.
I thought it was a pleasant comment.
No, that was pleasant. It was decent enough. It's nicer than they deserve, probably.
Well, yeah, and I shelter all the blame on Pretty Boy
Newsom.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't think he's in. I don't think the Democrats are even behind him now for being president. Looks like the Democrat leadership are looking the other way. They're supporting Kamala Harris.
Oh my God!
I know, right?
Which one is worse?
Well, Kamala's not on the news as much embarrassing herself with bad policy because she doesn't run anything. So she gets to run for president, from the basement. That seemed to be successful during Joe Biden's run. So
yeah, it's good. I mean, they cheated, but other than that,
well, yeah, other knows, but yeah. Well, and I think they're planning on doing that again. I think the comments I read during their most recent management meeting with the elites is even though the U.S. guidelines have been enforced and they've been put out there to strengthen that illegals can't vote you have to be registered voters and all that kind of stuff. You have to be citizens to vote in federal elections. They said, we don't care.
Wait a minute.
They don't care. They're going to let everybody vote anyway because no judge is going to overturn an election.
No, but they probably have it that they can overturn illegals voting.
Nope. I mean, after the election, and look, and there was a lot of challenges in 2020 that went out there, and judges just says nope, 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 and they just won't hear the case. It's not that they lose a case or win a case; they just won't hear it. And with that knowledge, these states are going to continue to cheat, continue to break the rules, continue to do whatever they want to make sure their candidates end up on top.
And right, and Democrats do a good job at it. I got to give them that.
Yeah, they're better at that.
Yeah, well, Republicans, they don't do that. We don't play. We don't stoop to their level, man.
I don't think so. I don't know of any cases really that do it. I mean, everything's possible, but I haven't seen it, and it's certainly not part of the fabric of the party. It's not.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping J.D. Vance gets a nomination.
Well, yeah, it's still a long way off, and right now, according to polls, he's a big front runner. But man, a lot can happen in a couple of years. You never know.
Yeah, yes, it can. Well, basically, all he's got to do until he starts campaigning is keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, well, but a lot of times you'll see a guy that's a front runner 3 years out and then disappears. But I think J.D. Vance will stay strong. I think so. But we'll see. I mean, he may get stupid at some point. I don't know.
That's true. I think he's a really strong candidate. He's a good candidate.
I think so, and I think he keeps getting better. And I think his ability and willingness to face tough crowds, tough questions, and answer them so well and so eloquently has just gotten stronger and stronger. And someone like Harris could never face a tough question ever. She'd just giggle, laugh, and say some nonsensical word salad that didn't make sense.
That's a good word, nonsensical.
Yeah.
And she got in there by luck. I mean, do you think Joe really picked her?
Yeah, because she was a black woman.
Yeah.
That's what he stated. I will find a black woman to be my vice president. And then he looked at the field and says, "There's one," and that was it.
Yeah.
Even though
but she didn't even make a first cut in the Iowa caucus, right?
no, she was the first Democrat to drop out as she was running for president, and for a short time, and she dropped out early because she couldn't get any attention.
Right.
And then
that's because she's unlikable.
Yeah, she's more unlikable now. But I don't know. The Democrats like her. I guess they see her as another Joe Biden. They could put in office, use the auto pin, and run it for her, and let her take the title.
I thought I heard somewhere where she was going to run for governor. Did I hear that wrong?
Yeah, no, she backed out of that. She didn't want that.
Okay. Well, she's going for a bigger and better thing.
Well, I guess a lot of people suggested that she should run for governor, and she verbalized it and said, "No, I'm not interested in governor."
Well, I hope that English guy wins the governor in California, because if he does, he'll change that whole state around. In my opinion,
That'll take some time. I mean, there's some pretty big holes over there, but it's a great place. It's got so much opportunity.
Well, isn't a lot of the Democrats in the Senate there and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, it's heavily Democrat.
Yeah, so I mean, if he wins, he's going to have like you just said, an uphill battle with that.
Well, yeah, that would be tough. He won't get a legislature behind him, but that's okay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Only time will tell. What is it 26 when Pretty Boy's got to leave?
Yeah, he's termed out. I think next year. Yeah.
Oh, sooner the better.
Yeah, he's termed out, so he'll have to move on.
Okay, buddy. I'm going to talk to you later. Okay.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye. That was Danny. This is from a listener. Just read a polling number that Hobbs is beating Biggs by double digits in a poll of likely voters. More signs that AZ is going there, purple or blue. And that may be true, and maybe it does right now because it's up in the air whether Biggs will be. I mean, not everyone's. I mean, there's some strong Republican candidates in there, so of course that'll reflect the polls, and that there's three-way race. Really, it's more than that, but three strong candidates on the Republican side that are up there. So, and I don't, versus an incumbent. So the early polls will probably show the incumbent on top, even though I think she's one of the more unpopular governors in the nation by polls. I think Tampon Tim beats her out, but not by much, probably. We'll be right back.
Help the Humane Society of Yuma continue their mission of reducing homeless pets through adoption and spay and neuter programs. Donate today. Visit the Humane Society of Yuma website at hsoyuma.com and save one until there are none.
To be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. Never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Consent application may vary. Online health questions required.
Is the season for cozy nights, holiday movies, and full houses. To make sure your internet can keep up, Allo Fiber brings you lightning fast 100% fiber optic internet that doesn't slow down when everyone's home for the holidays. Check them out at allofiber.com. Enjoy another great day today with a high expected of 82 this afternoon, clear and 52 tonight. 79 and sunny on Saturday and Sunday with 54 the nighttime lows both nights. We'll continue with 79 and sunshine on Monday.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber.
The Desert Lily Annual Quilt Show is coming Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th at the Yuma Civic Center with hundreds of beautiful quilts and wearable art items on display. See the special quilt celebrating America's 250th birthday. There'll be items for sale at the country stores and a fat quarter basket drawing. Admission is just $8. Buy tickets for your chance at winning the Love in a Mist quilt. Proceeds to benefit the Hanson House. The Desert Lily Annual Quilt Show, January 9th and 10th at the Yuma Civic Center. Don't miss it. At Exceptional Community Hospital, we are redefining what emergency care should feel like. Fast, personal, and compassionate. Our experienced ER physicians and staff are here 24/7 to care for your unexpected illness or injury. Don't wait for emergency care when you can be seen in minutes. With short wait times, you'll get the prompt attention you need because every minute matters. And if your recovery takes longer, we provide the inpatient care you deserve. Exceptional Community Hospital. Compassionate care. Exceptional service.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you, and my fact checker Edward sent me some recent polls for the state of Arizona. First one on the Republican primary for governor. If it were held today, Andy Biggs would get 50% of the vote. Corrine Taylor Robeson would get 17%. David Schweigert, 8%. And he's just newly in the race. Someone else, 1%, undecided, 25%. So that undecided is huge. But when you've already got Biggs at 50%, it doesn't matter how you spread out the other 25. You're not going to beat 50. But things change. I mean, it doesn't mean Andy is by any means it's all done. Now, when you get into the poll for Hobbs against Biggs, Robeson, or Schweigert, Hobbs wins all three of them, by the way. But not by much, by 1 point. Biggs versus Hobbs. Hobbs wins by 44 to 43 with 13% undecided. Now that 13% undecided, I mean, basically that's anybody's guess at this point. The Robeson versus Hobbs, also 1 point, 43-42, Hobbs victor. But again, statistically, it's tied. It's a toss-up because 15% still undecided. Schweigert versus Hobbs, which Schweigert is not a well-known name. He's a U.S. representative, but 44% for Hobbs, the same as against Biggs. But the Schweigert would have 39% with 16% undecided. So that's not a done deal. We don't know on that ratio. It's still early. It's still early. But those numbers look very appealing to me against an incumbent. That's if I were an incumbent, I think that would look dangerous by all means. You would think incumbent would have more advantage than that. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Ted.
I hope all these candidates here in Arizona watch the case that just got decided over the judge that helped the illegal alien evade federal apprehension.
Yeah, Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I want them to pursue MacGyver, who assaulted the federal agent at the
California
retention center.
Yeah.
I want them to arrest her and charge her with assaulting a federal agent. Now that they have precedents of a judge being found guilty of aiding and abetting.
They didn't arrest her for that. I can't remember. I know they walked her away in handcuffs, or no, they walked the guy out. That's right. They walked, and they let him go.
I don't know what the speaker did to her.
Yeah.
I asked him to censure her, but I don't think they pursued a legal. Now that they've got precedents.
Well, they got that
judge,
on video. They know he assaulted.
Right. But they've got precedents now. A jury found this judge guilty, okay, of a federal charge.
Different state, man. That's Wisconsin.
Federal.
Oh, it's federal, but still.
Right. That circumvents state.
I know, but DC's federal too, but it's Democrat federal.
Well, they need to hold her accountable for that assault and battery of that federal agent.
Yeah.
But
I would hope they would. I think you're right. That shouldn't be ignored.
Right. And I think that everybody here in Arizona that's thinking of voting for these Democrats, what was that, 13% you were saying that was kind of iffy?
Well, they're undecided. It's undecided. Yeah.
Well, that should decide them right there.
Well, of course. And when it's only a 1 point spread, which statistically is a tie anyway, but undecided. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, but it looks pretty good for the Republicans, to tell you the truth, when you're out, right now at this time to be statistically tied with the incumbent governor when they haven't even had the primary for the Republicans yet. That's pretty decent. That's a pretty decent start.
Right. I just think that 13% should think about aiding and abetting illegal aliens.
Yeah, a lot of people won't make up their mind until the last minute. That's okay. That's fine. Because they want see what happens between now and then.
Well, keep an eye on these cases because, like I said, they won that one against that judge.
It's not over. You don't think it'll appeal that with Hannah Dugan, but I hope it stays right where it is. It was pretty obvious what happened, and she interfered.
Yeah, and a jury of her peers found her guilty. So there we go.
Hope it sticks.
It's not like it was a rigged election in the Kamala Harris.
No, I don't think so.
So just keep an eye on these cases. The more they win with common sense and good jurisprudence. But I think they need to go after MacGyver to make a statement to elected officials.
They should, because if they don't, the more they don't anyway, the more brazen these elected officials become as far as obstructing laws, and they're setting examples for everyone else to follow. And that creates hate and aggravation, and it's dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have
All
a
right,
good
buddy.
day.
Be good.
Weekend. Hey, I
What?
got a question.
Yeah.
Did you get your driveway fixed? You asked me about the
No.
concrete was
No.
turning white.
No. But at least I know what to do. I'm not doing it yet. That's all. All right.
All right,
Thanks.
bud. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I got calcium on the driveway. I called Ted because he's worked with concrete. He kind of know. He knew what to do. Well, since he mentioned this Milwaukee judge, Hannah Dugan, I'll just give a little more details. She was found guilty of obstructing federal immigration agents during an attempt to serve a warrant in a courthouse. And she faces up to 5 years in prison. She was arrested in April, so it's been a while. She helped Eduardo Flores Ruiz avoid plainclothes immigration and customs agents. She walked him and his lawyer out a back door on April 18th, because she learned that ICE agents were in the building to arrest him. Dugan's defense team says, while we're disappointed in today's outcome, the failure of the prosecution to secure convictions on both counts demonstrates the opportunity we have to clear Judge Dugan's name and show she did nothing wrong in this matter, which is ridiculous. But apparently there was 2 counts. We have planned for this potential outcome, and our defense of Judge Dugan is just beginning. This trial requires considerable resources to prepare for, and public support for Judge Dugan's defense fund is critical as we prepare for the next phase of this defense. So you got an opportunity. You can write a check to Judge Dugan. And she needs it because she's been suspended from her job. And if this conviction stands, she's no longer eligible to hold public office, which means she would be out of a job. Right now, she's currently suspended. She's been suspended since April. And she was making $175,000 a year. So they suspended her with pay. Yeah, with pay. Yeah, you're getting paid. I would have suspended the pay until the outcome of the trial. The interim U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of Wisconsin, Brad Schimmel, he said it is certainly not saying Dugan is certainly not evil, nor is she a martyr for some greater cause. It was a criminal case like many that make their way through the courthouses every day, and we all must accept the verdict peacefully. We're not trying to make an example out of anyone. This was necessary to hold Judge Dugan accountable in our assessment because of the action she took. Yeah. I forget what she one of the lesser things was dropped. I don't know if I have this here, but it was somewhat similar in wording, but they dropped it. The jury was at 6 hours of deliberations, and she was acquitted on a misdemeanor count of concealing an individual to prevent arrest, but she got the felony account guilty. Oh. I don't know why the judge or the defense team sees that as all big positive. Like that's great. Now we got an opportunity to a pathway to get the rest of it taken care of. I don't see it that way, but I'm not a defense attorney. Let's take a break real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, it's all fun and games until you're stuck with bad internet. Not so much fun. Say goodbye to bad internet. Say hello to local support from a company that believes in better. Say goodbye to the spinning wheel of doom and the regular equipment rebooting. And say hello to a hassle-free experience. Say goodbye to the internet struggles of yesterday and say hello to a provider that picks our community and provides a product and service that's locally rooted right here in our hometown. Find out more at allofiber.com. That's allofiber.com.
I'm Sean Gardner. I am an estate planning attorney. I help people get their affairs in order by organizing their finances and setting up plans that allow them to be managed in the event of incapacity and death with the least amount of government intervention. I'm not a huge fan of the government. In fact, I think the government is only there to ensure that my rights aren't infringed upon. Yet I'm more and more convinced that the government is the one doing the infringing these days. And so I like to help other people avoid government interference in their personal affairs.
At Hospice of Yuma, we believe that everyone deserves compassionate care, especially when it matters most. As the area's only nonprofit hospice, our mission is simple: to provide high-quality, compassionate care to all who need it, regardless of their ability to pay. Our team of skilled professionals and dedicated volunteers work tirelessly to ensure that your loved ones receive the care and support they deserve. We focus on comfort and dignity, helping families navigate this difficult time with grace and understanding. Choose Hospice of Yuma for quality care that puts you and your family first. For more information, please contact us at 928-343-2222.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. I just noticed that the listener mentioned that when Greg Wilkinson's in, I don't announce his background and all that. I should. I just assume people know him. He's been around, but not everyone's familiar. So Greg worked for the city as a city administrator for 9 years, and he's worked obviously for other jobs, Homeland Security being one of them. Not most recently. Before that, he was a Marine and retired as a lieutenant colonel. So, and just a vast expertise, smart guy. He was chairman of the Republican Party for 2 years and did great things. Really helped out a ton, and he's not stopped helping. So he's continued to be supportive of this community, even if his golf game is improved because he's not working so hard. So his golf game's probably better because he does golf on Fridays, but he comes in here. He'll come in here on occasional Fridays and get some things off his chest, which is good. They found a suspect in the mass shooting at Brown University and MIT. They found they're thinking it's the same person. It would make sense for pulling it together as he's the suspect. And we know that 2 students are dead, 9 injured at Brown University, which was terrible thing. And then there was a single professor killed at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and this suspect has connections to both. Claudio Manuel Neves Valentim, 48 years old. He's a Portuguese national. He studied at Brown in the fall of 2000 to the spring of 2001, so just there for a short time. He studied physics, and according to the Brown president, Christina Paxson, he went on a leave of absence and ultimately withdrew in 2003. He also was terminated from a monitor position at the Instituto Superior Técnico of Portugal in 2000. At least the records say the same name. They believe he's the same guy, same killer. So he was in Portugal, and he got to the United States on a visa program that is going to be suspended right now. It's one of the lottery type programs, which is going to be suspended. That he came into the country legally, but there's a question on whether we should have that program, that lottery program. Leah B. Foley, the United States Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, confirmed that Neves Valentim was suspected in the MIT murder, the professor at MIT. This evening at approximately 9 p.m., federal agents breached a storage locker in Salem, New Hampshire, in search of Claudio Neves Valentim, Portuguese national, we believe shot and killed 2 Brown University students and an MIT professor in Brooklyn, Massachusetts. Federal agents found that Neves Valentim dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So they were already onto him. They suspected it was him. And some of the video, and it's really weird at Brown. There was a lot of condemnation that Brown didn't have more video. It wasn't that long ago that people were condemning people for putting in video. There's too much, too much Big Brother, too much information. We shouldn't have video. And now there was nothing but condemnation. You didn't have enough video. How can you not have video on this guy? It's amazing change, isn't it? Take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, a bunch of these visas that get handed out are we fast track all this stuff and we give people visas. I mean, China has always been investing in our universities,
Yep.
and when they throw a lot of money in there, they automatically get like 50 to 60 visas for so many $1 million as they go with the fast track, brings them in.
Hmm.
We're building this thing here. What is it, in Tacna or something, where we got the money? I'm not even sure I forget now what it was, but I do know, once again, because these people from another country came and invested money in our country, we're going to fast track visa everybody in too. I think there's like 30 visas tied to it. That's just here in our state of Arizona.
I didn't know they were tied so tightly. I didn't know that program, how it worked.
There was a big study done on it probably, I think it was 5 years ago, when they showed all that in. And China invests millions of dollars in all of our top universities
Mm-hmm.
and brings their people in and begins to indoctrinate. Wake up, America.
Yeah.
Really, truly wake up. I mean, we're letting people in. You know, the front door has been slammed shut and the windows have been brought down. You know, I think our president's doing a great job, but there's also a lot of little, not so much in his administration, but in the other administration where they were just coming in from all the way around. It's crazy. But that's why I guess we pay so much to go to university. I guess we got to support the football team, you know, the football coaches and the professors that teach the crap that our youngsters are learning.
Yeah.
So, anyways, just my take on it. And I guess somebody said you have a special on blinker fluid.
No, I don't.
Oh, I had to make you laugh there. You got quiet for a minute.
Appreciate you, man.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks. Bye-bye. That was Clyde. You have a good weekend, too. Oh, my fact checker says that some state that ICE is responsible for the Brown murders because they hid their faces and people assumed the shooter was an ICE agent. Well, that's just crap. All these ICE agents, yeah, a lot of them do wear masks, but they also wear, vests and stuff that identifies them as ICE agents or Border Patrol, one way or the other. Border Patrol's helped on some of them, but yeah, they're well identified. And I saw a blurry video of this guy. He didn't look anything like an ICE agent. Nothing like that. So that's kind of crazy thing. Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, she's the one. She posted on X. And she said she's instructing U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to pause the visa programs following President Donald Trump's direction. And that's because, the Brown University shooter, Claudio Manuel Neves Valentin, entered the United States through the Diversity Lottery Immigration Visa Program. It's a DV1 in 2017, was granted a green card. The heinous individual should have never been allowed in our country. In 2017, President Trump fought to end this program following the devastating New York City truck ramming by an ISIS terrorist who also entered into the DV1 program and murdered 8 people. At President Trump's directions, I am immediately directing a pause to the DV1 program to ensure no more Americans are harmed by this disastrous program. So that came from Kristi Noem. Cheap Trick. It's a rock band. Apparently, they played at the Kennedy Center, and it was a performance to tribute to Kiss. It was December 7th, and Cheap Trick performed Rock and Roll All Night as the tribute, whose members and a lot of the Kiss were there among the honorees of the night. I think we recently lost one of the artists from Kiss. The band wrote to some of the controversy and a lot of people writing hate to Cheap Trick because how dare you support President Trump and go to the Kennedy Center when President Trump asked you to come to the Kennedy Center and perform to tribute Kiss. And the cancel culture is in full swing. Like nothing Trump touches is supposed to be honored in any way. Well, the band wrote back, says, we are asked to perform at this year's Kennedy Center honor ceremony to pay tribute to our lifelong brothers in KISS and to support artists in the arts. We agree to do it for those reasons and no others. Obviously, they didn't see it as a political thing at all. They saw it as a performance thing at the Kennedy Center, which is an arts performance thing. But I guess when Trump is hosting it, to many, it's something different for sure. Oh, I'm already being invaded by George. Good morning, George.
Morning, Russ.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
At the Kennedy Center, country legend George Strait, Sylvester Stallone, Michael Crawford from Broadway, and Grammy Award-winning singer Gloria Gaynor were also awarded honorees and all that. But the Trump is actually the chair of the Kennedy Center Performing Arts. He was elected as a board chair in February, and he sought to reform the Kennedy Center following allegations it was promoting a woke agenda. And I think it was alleged to have been promoting a woke agenda, probably because it was true. Trump appeared to confirm that he had played a major role in selecting the honorees alongside the special advisory committee. Trump told reporters, I was 98% involved. They all came through me. I turned down plenty because they were too woke. I had a couple of wokesters. No, we have great people. It's a very different than it used to be. Trump is the first president to ever personally host a Kennedy Center honors, which I guess is right up his alley. He's got a little background in that, a little bit of Hollywood in him. He's the 48th annual Kennedy Center honors took place December 7th. They're going to air on December 23rd. So they haven't been on television yet. They're going to be on CBS Network and Paramount Plus. And Caroline Leavitt, the House press secretary, just announced yesterday, that the board voted unanimously to rename the institute. They're going to rename the Kennedy Center Performance to the Trump Kennedy Center. Well, that didn't go over well with some of the wokesters. They didn't like that. In fact, I know I was listening to some this morning that were saying that he can't do that. He can't do that. That's got to be done by Congress. I think it was Akeem Jeffries that was losing his mind over having Trump's name associated with the Kennedy Center. Although Trump has changed it. I mean, it was doing a lot of performances that I didn't understand. Drag queen musicals and stuff. I don't know. And he said enough of that. Because it's federally funded, and Trump took the opportunity to replace a lot of the board, put himself on the board. He's the I don't know how he has the time, but he's the chairman of the board, and I guess he directs a lot of the stuff that's going on now. So at least for the time being, for the next 3 years or so, it's going to be called the Trump Kennedy Center. Some president in the future may change that. I don't know. Called it the George Senior Visitor Center. I don't know. Performing Center. I have no idea what's going to happen. But that's it for now. A comment from my fact checker on the fact that President Trump gave federal workers a 5-day holiday for Christmas. I mean, which is very generous. And in past years, presidents have given extra days off. Like the last time it was on a Thursday, Obama was in office, and he gave off the Friday. Also as a paid holiday for federal workers, and it's kind of common for having an extra day thrown in there. Trump upped it because he's twice as good, and so he did 2 days instead of one, and he did Wednesday and Friday, and said have a good time. It's all paid for. You get a 5-day weekend, enjoy your family, do all that, and this is for federal workers, which are not really his back. They're not part of his backers. Greg was in here. Guessed maybe 50% are now. But it's not like the military, where it's a huge percentage that are his backers. Well, they've already heard from government workers that are going to sue. They're going to sue President Trump for this action. It's the Union of Muslim Government Workers. I didn't know there was one, but there is. And declaring that those extra days off, they're racist. And we're going to sue because we want different days off. They may win. Who knows? I'll be back, and just like in the next hour, along with George, we're going to do, Money Talk, AM 560 KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands.
This is News Talk 560 KBLU. You